And welcome back, everyone. After a relatively short break, we're back here with ESA Cup Season 7. The second match today for Playday 1 of Group B. And the match that we're going to see right now is Empire versus Aspire. Welcome back, Nash.
Well, I have a very tiny amount of information on these players.
Yeah.
I've seen results of Empire, which didn't look too promising, and I have also, after becoming the analyst for EE, I did do a lot of my reviews on Aspire's games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I'll be able to bring a little to the table, but not a grand amount. I don't really know enough about these teams. I did, however, vote for Aspire because, Aspire beat EE, and obviously, as I said, Empire's results weren't amazingly promising.
Mm-hmm.
But they have opportunity today to prove me wrong, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, indeed. If you can quickly bring up the map bans here, because we are going to start this match very soon to just catch up with the time that we lost on the previous map. Which just took longer than general. Again, we're having those issues with OPL visuals not loading as they should. They should generally take not too long, usually within 15 seconds if we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky, yeah, it just takes time. It's a weird thing. The only thing we can really do is like preload visuals and turn off like the refresh. But yeah, we lose animations, so we're still working with OPL with the administration to actually find a proper solution to this issue. But yeah, there we go. The map bans are coming in. We're going to Clubhouse once more, as if we cannot get enough of it. You already gave your opinion on this map, how much you like it really, and so you're lucky, Nash. We're just going to play it.
I despise casting this map. I hate it. It's the same bands every time. The only reason people change it is because there's like 8 bands that you can do on this map, and it's just preference.
Yeah.
Everything else is like pointless to ban. Those bands, by the way, on defense are like Solace, Azami, Fenrir, and Wamai, and then on attack it's Hibana, Monty, Ace, Thatcher. So there's like 8 total bans. There might be a couple I'm missing, but there's like around 8 bans that you can do on this map that actually work, unless you're going for some stupid like balls to the wall strategy. And it's entirely preference. Usually, if you know enough about the teams, you can predict what they're gonna go for.
Yeah, indeed. Sometimes like things just get a bit predictable, and we'll see how things go. Just like Clubhouse, we'll see it again, and I'm very curious to see how this match will go. Because like if I just take a quick look at the rosters, I believe I have that information right here. If I go to the match page, yes, we can see it. But I believe actually the match is going to start right now, so we'll just talk through it on the go. So let's just quickly go to the match here.
Well, incoming bans on attack. Let's see if it's one of my 4. My 4 were what? Thatcher, Monty. Oh, I'm forgetting them already. Hibana. They ban Knock. Yeah, they're just going for they're going for the entries. Like, I guarantee you this team also bans Solace. This team bans Ying. Kind of understandable. We're going for entries. This is just going to be like a very aggressive game with operators that aren't suited for aggression. That's all it is. I'm telling you, balls to the wall strategies are the only difference. Here we go. On the defensive side, we see Cade go off the board because they want to open hatches, but it's pointless banning Cade because Thatcher's allowed. So what difference does that make? You've done nothing with a ban. Nice. Now we go on to our final defender ban, which is Solace, as I said. So it's readable enough. It's kind of weird that we're seeing the Cade ban.
Yeah.
Like it's so pointless. Like it's such an awful ban that just doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, Kate. I mean, like it's like an operator that used to get banned quite a lot on a map like Clubhouse, but in general,
but Thatcher's not banned.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the only Yeah, no. Like if you were to ban Thatcher, then yes, there's still the EMP nades, like the secondary ones, but those are not as effective as a Thatcher, of course, as the range is just way smaller. Yeah, indeed. Without a Thatcher ban, AKA ban is just not that useful. True. Yeah,
Like I don't want to sit here and bully people, but you banned you literally did nothing with a ban. Like,
yeah,
come on, man, you do
yeah.
better than
Ban.
this.
Yeah, it's a ban that certainly could have been spent better. I agree on that. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's also somewhat of a target, but I really don't know. Maybe there was some kind of a reason that we just don't know about. But yeah, in the end, if that's what the team wants, then they get it. It's up to them. Aspire,
I don't
team
know,
that,
man.
yeah,
If you're target banning a Cade, then there's got to be some like nutty TCSG player on this team, and at that point he just goes Goyo. It's like Shaiko and his Yana. You ban Yana, he goes Ash or Nomad.
yeah, indeed. Well, let's just see how things go. Of course, well, yeah, it's now Team Aspire here on the offense. Let's see how they're doing, where they're entering from, if they're already entering the building at all. Of course, the Jekyll will certainly help to find some of those roamers. Will certainly decrease their clearing time. But with first goes the smoke playing here in Garage. That's a bit of an odd one. Don't
Indeed,
you
it
think?
is. Uh, I mean, the smoking garage is fine. It's one of those where it's like an escape artist operator. The jumping through the window, though, as Future manages to get himself into construction and find a frag, isn't quite able to find the one onto Warden, who was hanging around Cash. But Warden's a one speed now, so the fact that you're roaming is like beyond me, considering the entire discussion of what Warden was going to become after he got nerfed wasn't underpicked. He wasn't going to be like picked less because of his speed deficit. He was just going to be played like a Rooney's played, like a little sentry turret that sits behind a shield. Um, but instead, this guy's deciding to go to the top floor as a one speed, which is a little questionable. But we're going to be moving our way back to site as we have lost that man advantage, or not man advantage. We have lost that man in general.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping yourself alive and keeping it in a 5v4 at the worst is definitely a good thing, especially when these players have to filter themselves through these doorways and hatches onto the actual site itself.
Yeah, indeed. With this 4-5 situation, we're now just approaching this final minute. Attackers are getting a little bit closer, but still, they haven't really accomplished that much either. Yes, they got their first opening kill, but hatches yet still have to be opened, which is actually happening right now with the Hibana. But beware of the impact tricks. She's actually, yeah, the impact tricks are happening. The first set of Hibana pads being taken care of, but at the meantime, also Monty trying to enter the building already very early on. Solo, what are you doing, Monty? You need a player to back you up. Solo, you're nothing, and you're losing your life, unfortunately, through the process. Luckily,
Monty
again,
is
the
not
Nomad being able to get one
like
kill there on
a
Raffle.
solo
But takes
fragger.
3 vs 4. But still, the Monty, that's just a big mystery on what he was doing there solo.
Bro thought it was Modern Warfare 2 and he had a riot shield. Oh my goodness, that nade just like donked his ankle. And now we're going to be backing ourselves up as it looks like Alibi has managed to find one, I think, onto the kitchen hatch, and is going to be trying to take an engagement onto that man in dirt. Warden takes a swing, finds the frag, and as Gridlock drops down the hatch, is able to find one of her own. The Goo Mine is going to be doing a lot of damage, though, and as the swing comes around from Rixie, he managed to find that frag for himself, and that's going to be round over, done, dusted, well done on the side of Empire, finding themselves round number one. And it looks like potential rehost material here.
Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing here. Yeah, early rehost is happening. Not sure what is going on here entirely. I believe there's something to do with the internet of one of the players that apparently went down. So that I guess that's why the whole team is leaving, just to draw enough attention to let us know. So let's just quickly switch here back to the cameras while we just arrange the reels. Actually, no, we're getting some really nice replays to show right now. I believe is that replays that we're seeing. I guess it is. We have done a little switch here on the production side where it's now all next doing the stream instead of me, just to make things a little bit easier, to just allow me to focus on the actual casting itself, which is definitely such a relief. It makes things so much nicer. But the replays, an absolute nice thing. It's one of the things that we have been working on the back of the stream, especially All Next has been working on those, and hopefully soon every single of our producers should be able to do the same. So replays will be a nice little upgrade here for the 7th season of ESA Cup. Yeah, just talking back about this match, Nash. We just have seen one round. it wasn't a very convincing round for me. I mean, I've seen very weird things in terms of time management from the attacking team, and Monty pushing in solo. What happened? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Quick thing. Are you muted by any chance? No.
I am muted.
Uh-oh.
Stinky.
Oh no. Yes. So it should be. Yeah, it's fixed now. I can see your audio like
Yeah.
moving in the bottom
Just
here.
a quick recap of what I said.
Yes.
Shivers got impatient inside of dirt, tried to go forward. Smoke canister trapped him from being able to go backwards. And then it's like there was a goo mine there as well, so he couldn't turn around, drop his shield, and shoot the goo mine because there was smoke was going to shoot him in the back, and he couldn't back up to cover himself from Legion because there was a goo mine and a smoke grenade behind him. So he was just kind of boned. He got impatient. He moved too far forward. He's stupid. He won't do it again.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, those are just mistakes made. Hopefully, they can learn from it. Where they now technically have even like a bit of a technical time, what you can even call it, where they just have a moment where they talk to each other and see like what already went wrong in the first round of this game. So hopefully, we get a chance to actually see a bit of an improvement there after that very weird first round. What I'm hearing is that apparently the game is going to start in about 3 minutes from now. So in about 3 minutes, we can actually resume this game with that 1-0 score that was in the favor of Empire. But for now, yeah, can we just quickly bring up those? I mean, I can actually see that our producer is a little bit busy. If we can maybe bring up those predictions if we have the chance. Otherwise, we can just talk about it later a bit more. But and that's one of the things that I was curious for. Yeah, I guess I believe the OPL visuals are just not working the way they should. We're just working on actually improving those. I can actually see what our observer is doing right now. He's clearly resolving those issues. So hopefully, right after this match, things should start running a bit more smoothly, and then we have less things to worry about.
Well, either way, it's well played from EG to be able to find themselves around at the very start of this, but we all know what happened in the last game. I mean, we had a 5-1 half that ended up going to 8-7. But I mean, looking at this, it's kind of one of those games that it's like very, very top and tail. Like both teams are throwing things at a wall. Some things are sticking for both sides, but overall, it just went worse for Aspire.
Yeah.
Like I know it was a 3v. I know it was a 3v1 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, like it looks like Aspire won very convincingly on paper, but Warden nearly got caught. The opening frag was for the Nomad on the side of Aspire. And overall, like for the first half of the round, it was completely in Aspire's control. It was the impatience, the lack of discipline from the Monty, and then also just as a whole, the general sort of like impactless feeding as they tried to just desperately flood into sight. That was the problem. And they ended up losing the second half of the round. I think it's one of those situations where yes, they won the first half, they won the first minute, but after that they just kind of like snowballed and hit a wall. And snowballs, when they roll and hit a wall, they crumble.
Yes, indeed. And as you can see, we actually can finally, I should point there, we can finally see the prediction actually right below us right now. And it's a 50-50. And you probably would expect like that's only 2 people voting right now. But I'm actually looking right now here in OPL. 16 people actually casted a vote.
Yeah, one of them's me.
Surely, yeah, but that's 8 for each team, and that's actually surprising. I'm actually very happy that so many of our viewers already are casting votes on OPL, because of course before we always used to do this on Twitter, where it's easier to make a vote there. Of course, like it's just one click, you already signed into Twitter. We're now on OPL. You will need to go to the website. You will need to log in even, and then you can cast your vote. But the trade-off, of course, is that we have like a little nice visual here, which is like just a really nice way to actually
Yo,
visualize those
production
votes.
votes.
But then we also have these production votes as well, indeed, where you can actually see that the votes are
Oh, this is
a
very
little bit.
Aspire-sided.
Yeah, it's mostly Aspire, but still, what is it, 5-3
Yeah,
or
5-3.
yeah, 5-3. I mean, it's still mostly Aspire, but still some beliefs there towards Empire as well,
Yeah, some
where
semblance of hope.
yeah, and I can just cannot help to look at the next match as well, where it's just mostly going everyone's Windows key. So that's
See
very
the funniest part is I know neither of those two teams in the last
yeah
game, and I literally coin flipped my vote.
yeah. So that looks very promising for the game after this one. So that's still a long way to go, because this second game, which is now finally being resumed, is only at 1-0 so far. So we have a huge amount of time to make up for today. Things are not uh, going according to schedule at all. But luckily, hey, we're still here. We are still having beautiful games, and we're just going to have a bit of a longer evening than usual. I hope that's not a problem for anyone here. At least I'm enjoying it. And yeah, finally, this match is now resumed with the 1-0 score.
Well, 1-0 on the side of the defense. And I mean, as a whole, you're going to gym bedroom now. Gym bedroom is going to be a little weaker than basement, just by default, because teams are more able to get that control because there's a lot less impact from the defenders going on towards this side. And realistically, you need one of these players to pop off if you're gonna like actually have anything big happen over this side. And with 4 players pushing that way, it doesn't really look like that's gonna be the case. This Frost might actually be like a little screwed if someone gets a bit aggressive at garage door here.
Yeah, but also this tournament already getting ready to open up the wall there towards CCTV, just getting ready to peel away this first layer of defensive material. Frost luckily being able to fall back just in time, even has a deployable shield there on top of the stairs, so she's a bit of more of a stronghold, which was specifically set up for her, so at least she didn't die like offside, which would have been very a bit of a waste. But then Mord's getting their first opening kill, taking out Hookah. That's Flores already taken care of. One less operator and big operator to no longer worry about, as he can no longer use his explosive drones from now on.
Indeed. In comes this sledge. Carol going to be trying to get aggressive inside of CC. Almost finds the head of first as he manages to run past the door, and that is a scary situation to be in if you're that Frost there. Yes, you've managed to maintain that man advantage, but you can't commit to any fights the same way your team can. And this could be a bit scary.
Yeah, the Jaeger just getting ready for potential jump out, but also Twitch maybe aware of the position. No, the Jaeger is actually going for the engagement, doing a load of damage, but no damage at all done towards the Twitch, but getting damaged himself instead, and is still making it out alive, however. So at least he's still alive. He can still do something for the team, but his plan did not go as planned. And the Twitch did something quite useful there. But still 5 versus 4, 1 minute 15 seconds. Attackers are getting closer, but still loads of work to be done.
Well, if the Horizon was a player, I'm sure it'd be dead. And now we see 2 of these players on the defensive side, very, very weak, but still maintaining this man count advantage. The Mirror are going to be taking a bit of an aggressive stance over towards that little vaulting rotate that she's made for herself there. And now in comes Carol to try and take a bit of an engagement onto the generator in the middle. Punch hole inside of garage, manages to find a frag onto highway, but with the Frost going down, you're going to be a little unsure. It's now a 3v2, potentially, well, 3v2 realistically, considering they aren't able to get this res. And, well, I mean, with them finding one more, it is going to be very good for them. But now a 1 versus 2 has spiraled. They're just going to be seeing if they're able to get themselves any more frags. In the meantime, it looks like Scripps is going to be trying his best, doing what he can, and Sledge is going to be taking the swing. Is he going to be able to find the frag? No, he's not. The swing comes round from the gridlock instead, and he loses his life.
Yeah, Team Aspire probably not even aware of the Frost being injured inside of the garage, but still a nice little standoff there from the mutes, but unfortunately not successful. the round goes to the attacking team, which at least brings us to a nice and equal score here of 1-1, where things are starting out very nicely. And again, beautiful replays here on the screen. Just quickly highlighting those highlight moments from the rounds. Just a beautiful moment to see something again in case you missed it or just want to see it again. I love it. It's great.
It is very good. I do like those. Something that, well, you were only really able to see in professional big budget streams before, and now we're seeing it more and more in these lower tier
ESA Cup,
division type things.
Yeah, ESA Cup always pushing those limits, always.
The first to do it.
The first to do it, yeah, surely. Yeah, it's one of the especially on console for sure. So that's a good thing. I'm very happy to see how ESA is growing, continuously growing, always developing new things. Like also the stream got a little bit of an upgrade, mostly due to OPL, of course, the transition to OPL, where the league's now being hosted, which provides tons of visuals, but then also just those tiny improvements, which just make every season better and better. It's not just the teams that make things better or prize pools or whatever, the way it's organized. No, just things getting way better. And it seems like we're actually losing defeat somehow. Just a bit of a buffer. I guess we're back. Just one thing, Nash. I think we need to mind our our timing here. We might be in front of them. Yeah.
Oh, my stream didn't buffer.
No, on stream it did. The stream buffered.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, just quickly, the castles here was like a bit of a buffer there on the stream. Not sure what happened there in OBS on the production side, but yeah, therefore the castles are quickly buffering. So we're just making sure that we're well timed with what's actually happening on the stream, so we're not up front of you guys, like not spoiling anything before it actually happens on the stream. For me, at least, it should be arranged now, and hopefully Nash should also be back soon.
I'm just trying to check that I am actually synced up.
So yeah, we're now still 5 versus 5 situation with the first minute already expired. Not a single bit of damage being dealt to either side, but the attackers are already making their way inside of the building. Just clearly focusing here on the top floor, already inside of cash room, just opening some new lines of sight and opening points towards the side of construction from where they can put more and more pressure here on Bedroom, where most of the defenders are holed up. I believe there's a total of 4 defenders on the top floor at the moment, so still loads of work to do for the attacking team. With 1 minute and 30 seconds, I think the timing might be just right to still make it happen.
Oh, it looks like this Buck wants to, or not Buck, Thermite, sorry, wants to try and get a bit aggressive onto the mirror window. Manages to get the knife off, but isn't able to find anything else. Raffle going to be just running himself past as Tourist is going to be just tiptoeing in between the sightlines right now as they have managed to get themselves through into the upstairs and claim it for themselves. Why are we punching that future? You've got a pocket shotgun. He comes around the corner, manages to find that kill alongside his teammate. Very confusing situation.
When you forget about your own identity, indeed. Yeah, 3 versus 4 situation here. Still the favor of the team, especially after Echo loses his life from Hookah, who's still playing outside. Both Scripps and Rixie, I think, getting close to side. No one even locked into the buff rooms. Position known, gets 1 kill, but gets taken out himself as well. It's all coming out of Rixie, who's currently located in the kitchen. Does have some lines of sight from where he can do some damage, especially if the attacking team is not aware of his position. We'll see how things go. Attackers were spotted inside. We'll soon try to go for the plant. Go for the plant right behind the bar. This is the perfect line of sight here for the castle. But does he know? Does he know the plant is happening there? Unfortunately for him, it's the Gridlock playing on the hallway, shutting him down, not allowing him to fulfill his plans, and then get taken out. Meaning this round will be going to the attacking team of Team Aspire.
He did it well. And I mean, I don't really know what to say. We're now 2-1. Aspire have managed to take the lead, and I mean, it's one of those situations where realistically, the standard half on this map I would expect to be 4-2 to the attack. I mean, as we said, we saw how last game went. So it really depends on the team, the way people decide to play, and I think the way these two teams play in particular, that more than likely we're going to be seeing that sort of thing happen. And it really depends on if Aspire decide to try and run away with it now. rather than once they actually switch over onto the defense.
Yeah, after previous match, nothing surprises me anymore. Comebacks are very much possible. But for now, yeah, well, let's just see how these teams do. We see actually Grim being picked. Grim is an operator that we haven't seen really for too long.
The
in this,
bees.
The bees, indeed. The bees are coming buzzing for the defending team. And yeah, because Grim, I mean, we have seen some nice little buffs on his side, making him quite a bit of a more valuable operator than he used to be one time ago. And yeah, very curious to see what he will be able to perform in action.
I like Grim as an operator. I think Grim does what he does, and he does it very well. And that is like, well, similar to Nomad and Gridlock, but a lot more temporary.
Yeah.
And I think it is intended to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And used a lot more aggressively. And I've seen a lot of people recently using or utilizing the bailiff and just going like underneath key power positions that defenders are going to be holding and just like shooting a hole out in the roof or in the floor and just like popping a canister through
it.
Because it only has to be a small hole. So when it comes down to the way this operator is being played, I think it's very well utilized, but Hookah decides to do like a very questionable play alongside Future as Future hops himself in through the window, and that's a bit of a waste of a smoke canister. But sure, you do you. Now the Hibana making her way up on those red stairs is going to try and make her way through the rotate, but Rixie's there to secure it, and now it's just going to be a 2v4. One of which being a Monty, so technically it's a 1v4 with a walking drone.
Yeah, for versus 1/2, really, indeed. Yeah, the Monty by himself cannot really do too much, although he might just get the kill. Yes, he does get
Never
the kill.
mind.
The Mozzie who just turns the back to the Monty, something you should never do in the situation, gets taken out fairly easily, and certainly the favor. I mean, it's still the favor of the defending team. It's a 3 versus 2, but things are still possible, especially with the Jekyll getting in a very nice position to take out Rixie. And before you know it, it's a 2 versus 2 equal man count, which can really go either way from here on. Especially with the Monty still in play, can intimidates the opponents quite well, has those heart-breaching utility to open up some of those hatches. I'm very curious to see where this round will go.
Well, we'll be seeing how they actually decide to play this. It's now a 2v2 instead of that 2v4 that we were in a minute ago, and if it was clutchable before, it's definitely clutchable now. They're going to be trying to come down these blue stairs, but are they going to be caught up by the alibi? Yes, they are. Casper gets his head taken off, and now Shivers has to find this 3k in order to be able to secure the round for himself. He's already found the one onto the Mozzie, so now coming forward, gets an impact grenade from distance, and isn't going to be able to find anything as of this very moment. Has to make his way in through onto AKs. Gets caught out a little bit by the alibi. Tries to take the swing onto Elysian. Ends up taking his head taken off. And that's going to be the round over for the side of Empire. Managing to secure another one for themselves. But the Monty very well played alongside the Jackal.
Yeah, 1 versus 2 for the Monty with still Legion in play and heal all over the place. Good luck with that. Very unfortunate. Basically his fate sealed once he ended up in that situation. Tried to make his best out of it. Couldn't, but still a nice round either way. A nice 2-2 score here. Very equal score. So completely different than we saw in the previous match, of course, where we started with a 5-0 score. Excuse me. With a 5-0 score. So I'm very happy to see that this match is at least starting out way more equal from the very beginning instead of later on.
Indeed. I just made a bit of noise with my chair, and I'm really hoping it didn't bother the stream too much.
I barely heard it.
Anyway, moving on with the round, we are just seeing a little bit of this default setup for the defenders, just doing whatever they can. And, well, I mean, they're going to be holding on to that gym bedroom anyway, so it's going to be relatively standard. It's just a matter of whether they choose to play someone Shaiko or whether they choose to play someone a bit more aggressive. More than likely, I imagine they'll probably try and go for that Shaiko position, but if they don't, which they might not actually, as they do have Moritz and Fuist a little bit more aggressively over on this red side. And they do have Beepers over there as well, so more than likely we are going to be seeing a bit more of a cash hold coming out of a couple of these players. But very susceptible from vertical nades right now for this Frost.
Yeah, no shield this time on top of the stairs, which is interesting, but the Frost still playing there to hold on the attackers as long as they can. I mean, if you remember the previous round, very nice early opening double kill for the defensive side back then. Which in the end ended up to become a very interesting round. But now, without the shield, things might get a little bit different. The shield's placed in a different position. Tremont is attempting to go inside, but we also see two players approaching from the catwalk garage side. So Frost will have her hands full very soon, but gets the first, takes out the termites. No more hard breaching for the opponents, as they don't have any utility remaining. So that will certainly hurt them. But for now, 5 versus 4 is also going to be a little bit of a problem for them.
Indeed, Casper going to be coming in from below and dealing a little bit of damage to the Frost as he does make his way through and open up the floor. But Shiver's losing his life in the meantime is going to be a bit of, well, I say it a lot, but it is going to be a detriment to their team because it's their only hard breach. Now he's in the bin. They don't have the can openers on Buck. Buck is instead bringing along flashbangs. So they've gone from having the utility necessary to be able to perform this execute to, well, not. So if the defenders play their angles here and realistically just play their utility, they are going to be able to win out this round very, very easily, unless there's a big miracle play with someone running in and flicking 3 people.
Yeah, especially with just 50 seconds remaining. There's not too much time remaining for the attacking team. They really need to start moving soon to make things happen. I mean, this is the move. They've managed to distract the mirror well enough and get a kill in the end. Then Morse with a kill and Scripps with a kill, but then Keeper with a kill. So it's a 3 versus 2 right here. Still the advantage for the defensive team. And with Casper so low in HP, he could easily be taken out, and the advantage could be increased even further for the defensive sides. But with 30 seconds, the attackers still have a chance to find a way in, especially with the defender just laying right in front of him on the floor. Unfortunately, not being able to capitalize off it, which is very unfortunate. But for now, 20 seconds remaining for these 2 remaining attackers to find those 3 defenders to get the diffuser down and win the round. But with as Hookah gets a kill, it's a 2 versus 2. Things are getting closer and closer. Scripps is getting damaged quite a bit, getting finished as well. And now it's all coming down to Risky, the Jaeger, who's currently playing. I don't even know where he's playing at the moment. He's playing somewhere in the back, I believe, as Hookah is getting damaged. He's going for the defuse with Casper on the cover, gets the kill, wins the round for the team, and it's a round for Aspire.
How does this happen?
I don't know.
That was super free for Empire. And like, these guys had literally no utility in order to be able to actually push these players out of position. And Empire, rather than just hold on to the important angles, decided to try and focus on people further away, which meant they were taking ballsy swings. And that just caused them to feed. So I think as a whole, like, Empire kind of threw their own round away there.
Yeah,
kind of handed to them for free on a silver platter, and they just declined it. The hair in their food.
Yeah, something Aspire is happily capitalizing on. I mean, finally securing here the advantage with a 2-3 score. And we're just now approaching the round 6. This final round before the role swap is happening, before the team switch sides and start playing a different role. And then the big question is, which score will we see once we go into this round swap? Will it be a 2-4 advantage for Aspire, or will the members of Empire Gaming fight back and turn things into an equal 3-3? We'll find out soon.
Well, we're now watching as the attackers make their way up onto the roof to set themselves up for an entrance. The Echo of First is just going to be in a very default position right now. Like, realistically, if anyone is pushing Garage, they should know this player is going to be lingering around here in the oil pit. Looks like Sledge is going to be pushing above instead through that CC wall, and they're just going to be opting to just avoid rafters entirely because no one's going to be playing there.
Yeah, indeed. Various attackers already getting their first way inside of the building, just looking for some very early control. One thing they need to be careful of is one of the players playing in Oil Pit at the moment. I believe it's the Echo. Yeah, the Echo is playing there, just trying to stay out of sight as long as they can, but potentially also just waiting for the opportunity to get one of those opening kills. But I believe all the attackers have rotated away, so the opportunity not being presented in the end. But again, here's the explosive drones coming out, trying to hurt the mirror, trying to peel off layers of her defensive setup, but still getting kills in the position, holding strong, holding her stronghold, getting kills on the Sledge, but also the Frost being injured and finished off. And at the same time, also Flores losing his life and the mirror losing his life. So it's a 3 versus 3 within the first half of the round.
Casper should have used the illegal vent spot. He saw it earlier today.
I mean, it wasn't illegal in the end, so why not use
No,
it?
but it's funny. I like calling it the illegal vent spot.
That's the way we're going to call it, huh? Okay, let's see.
We should name it after the player.
What was it again? I forgot.
I need to find out.
Yeah, we can review the vods, of course, for that. But hey, 1 minute. Nice.
Well, yeah. Only a minute left. I mean, with it being a 3v3, it's essentially the same thing as a 5v5, just less. There you go. There's my dream insight. That's not what I was talking about, though. That's not what I meant. I meant it differently. I meant as in, like, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's just going to be a little slower because both of these teams are going to be a little more tentative to take their engagements. They're going into the last 20 seconds now, and more than likely we're going to be seeing one attacker get super aggressive in order to try and get the execute plan down, and another two just holding crossfires further back. Casper's going to be rotating over now, trying to take presence on this corridor, and we do have the player on the other side of the smokes hanging around inside of stock, but they lose 2 lives, the thermite and the gridlock, and now this crossfire on main and kitchen is going to be able to clean up the last one of the IQ, and, well,
The 33
we're
split.
out the round. Also, it was Dipsy. I've had confirmation that it was Dipsy that used the vent spot, so now that is Dipsy spot.
Gypsy spot. Cool.
There you go, Dipsy. You're welcome.
Yeah. So after Empire Gaming here finally wins the final round of the first half, we now see a 3-3 score here. After we should now seeing the roll swap happen. So right now will be Empire Gaming on the offense instead, while will be Team Aspire by EOS moving to defensive sides, where things just might go very differently. It was a very equal half here, where things might just go very different. Now we see the roles change.
Well, we are down on this basement, and they are going to be bringing a lot of hard. Well, I say a lot of hard breach. They're going to be bringing an ace in the Herbana. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't say that's enough. I'd say instead of the sledge, just bring along the buck. It's like just so much better for a start because you can get the angles into AKs, not AKs, into armory, and also can openers. So you have a bit more hard breach potential. But opting against it, I mean, nades, yes, but also still relatively useless. Just
uses against the Hibana, you mean?
No, I'm on about the nades on the sledge.
Oh, sledge. Sorry.
I just think sledge is useless for this. Like, I think bringing along the sledge in favor of a buck is a really dumb idea, especially when you can bring along those can openers.
That's a fair point indeed. Yeah.
Because it's like for a start, sledge is dead. Sorry. No, for a start, like sledge can't open up the soft walls underneath the floor that he's opening, so you can't get those angles through into armory. Alongside that, oh my goodness.
Okay, this round is starting interestingly.
How has this happened?
Must have been double Capcan trap.
Yeah, but like surely a support main playing the ace should be very, very akin to droning himself. Well, akin to droning other people. And when droning yourself, you'd think you'd be more careful.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah,
Capcans.
Yeah, it already gives me the question whether they were aware of Capcan being there at all, like whether they even found out about his identity. But yeah, that's just certainly a big loss. That's the ace gone. Luckily, they still have the Ivana who can do some of the job. Yes, she can open up the hatch if she doesn't waste too much utility on the impact tricking, which will likely happen from the Wamai. But the options here from Team Empire just became so much more limited. I can even see Hibana now going there down the main stairs, probably just preferring to go for a mirror window, which will likely be so much more destructive and so much bigger of an obstacle compared to the hatches that they have. Empire Gaming, a bit of a dilemma here.
Yeah. I mean, on the attacking side, you've got what English people would refer to as bugger all utility. You've got a Hibana, which is like okay, but otherwise you've got flashbangs.
No way.
That's about it. Flashbangs and guns, but they find one on the verticality anyway through the hole that Ash made with her breaching round, and now we're going to be seeing those Hibana pellets just open up this mirror window. It's nice that they've managed to get the mirror window open, but it doesn't really benefit them a grand amount because they've still got to swing it.
Yeah, and
they took the swing, lost a life, and now it's going to be the Yana trying to come down the stairs to get the res. Isn't able to get herself all the way through, gets the free fire through the wall, and now is going to be the last man standing in this 1 versus 3. Tries to get one, finds it for himself, but isn't able to find the next. And that's going to be another round for Aspire. Aspire deciding to, take some steps forward, start running away with the rest of this game, and
themselves right after the rolls up after the
into the lead once again.
Yeah, into the lead once again. A 3-4 score. Aspire taking this lead for the second half so far, and just going for another defensive round. They're now going for Bedroom Gym, but of course it's very understandable given what we have already seen about this map today. They've been able to attack it quite a few times when it was Empire Gaming on the defense. Now it's up to them to go for the defensive rounds, and curious to see how they will do.
Is this the only 100% defensive win rate site we've seen today? No, we've seen one loss.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think we did, yeah. That was the one, it was the one where... It wasn't even this map, right? Yeah, it was earlier.
Yeah, it was last
third
match.
round, I believe it was. Second or third round.
Yeah. I don't know. But we've definitely seen one loss. But I don't know if there is a 100% win rate site for defense that we've seen today.
So far, not. No. I don't think so.
Huh. Well, now moving into this round as a whole, we do see a bit more of a conservative usage of gadgetry from the side. Oh, well, I guess more default from the defensive side, like bringing along that castle, the mute. Things that you'd expect to see from a default hold, and I think that indicates that Aspire have kind of run out of ideas. And I think if EG are able to play on the fact that, well, they've run out of ideas, they're going to know that they're just playing default Siege for the rest of the game. And if they throw any wildcards into the mix, then they're going to be on the front foot because Aspire aren't going to be really anticipating anything.
Yeah, first bit of engagement already happening. We can see Hook already losing about half of his HP, still being able to stay strong and alive. But
look at that mirror window.
Wow, which mirror window? Sorry, I missed
the mirror window in logistics is like a mirror window just hanging on a thin strip of wall.
What even happened there?
The construction wall got opened by a thermite charge and it breached like a bunch of that wall.
Right.
Because he put it like very close to it.
Still one of the worst CT mechanics in my opinion.
And now that mirror window just like barely exists. I love it. I'm a support main though, so I'm a bit biased.
Yeah, but it just technically it just doesn't make sense the way the thermite charge works with cutting first and then blowing. This is a bit weird, but yeah, okay, sure. I mean, we have seen beautiful creations with it, especially like with thermite charges a long time ago, being put right next to an electrified hatches stuff. I mean, it's nice, it's a nice little thing, but yeah, just a bit of a weird mechanic.
I mean, the most notable spot for that is the one on Theme Park, right? Like from break room into initiation.
Ooh. I'm not even sure about that one right now. But hey, it's a 3 versus 3, and we have 45 seconds remaining. There's lots of things happening on either side Both suffer 2 casualties. More casualties happening here on the side of Empire Gaming. C4 being thrown out after Scripts was taken care of. But then it's Shivers,
What
the
has
mind,
happened
hopping in,
here?
taking care of Moritz. And that's all coming down. Rixie, who is actually inside of sight, has control, finds the kill on Shivers, finds himself in the 1 versus 2 situation with Hookah being fairly low on HP. 2 bullets will be enough to take him out, potentially even 1. But in the end, it's Hookah getting the kill himself there on Rixie and securing the round here for the team. Aspire winning yet another round, putting themselves on 3-5.
Well, Ash was looking at someone's toes. It's nice that we learned Ash may have a foot fetish. But look, man, she was looking at the cupboards or his feet. So one of the two. I'm just really confused as to what she was looking at there.
I mean, if you hold the trigger long enough, eventually you will hit head, right?
I mean, yeah, true. But I am genuinely really confused though, because it's like, well, you know someone's on that corner, surely you're going to aim higher. You know he's not proning because you'd hear shuffling and you'd see his legs sticking out. I'm just very confused as to what the thought process was for the Ash there, because taking that swing as a whole, yes, it was ballsy, but like, you want to come out of that with at least a trade, and you just weren't aiming in the right place.
No, indeed. Crosshair placement is one of the big things. I mean, CSGO is one of the games most famous for it, but the siege is really important as well. And it just gives you a little advantage, a bit like just a bit more time to respond a little bit better and do the damage where it matters the most. And it can really, be a live or death moment in this kind of gunfights.
Well, we have a Capcan onside once again for Aspire. This time he's been spotted out.
Yeah, our support is droning.
We know they've seen him. If someone dies to Capcan traps now, I'm gonna freak. There's at least 4 players that have seen a Capcan.
Yeah, and at least the Capcan himself has been spotted and taken care of. The question is now, where are his traps and will they take care of the traps? They're definitely checking for them right now.
We're checking doorways, boys. Let's go.
So they've been learning from the mistakes, which is a good thing to see. Another question is, will actually Empire Gaming, after they got the opening kill, be able to successfully close the gap and start working on a little bit of a comeback here after they lost 2 rounds in a row?
Well, now we've checked out these doorways, we are going to be making our way forward. But as we come even further forward, Forrest is going to be taking the rappel onto the red stairs, but gets his head taken off by the mirror that's going to be playing around there on the window. And now we see potential hatch presence coming out of the defenders as they are going to be trying to move this ESA forward onto a good plant position. There is an echo on side. Casper unfortunately loses out to Raffle as does try and take a swing. Carol?
Yeah, suddenly 4 versus 2. C4 being thrown, taken care of more, probably behind the shield of the Oda. Yes, the Oda taken care of. It's a 3 versus 2 right now, with still 55 seconds remaining. Ace charges coming up, opening some of those walls, making more lines of sight and entry points towards the side, where there's only one defensive player currently inside and the other one just holding off towards the kitchen area. A nice little setup, or main stairs, I should say, but a very difficult one to pull off. Default cam still in place, which still provides some information. And also echo drones. No echo drones, I guess.
Surely he was running from something, no?
Maybe we can see it in the replay.
Well done for EG. EG managed to kill himself around. They cleaned up 2 kills. Ash took the swing onto the kitchen corridor, and Ace obviously took the swing onto site, as you just saw. But what I'm most confused about is Carol on the top floor vaulting through that mirror window. Just made absolutely no sense. You could have just ran away further into deep logistics.
Yeah.
But like, it was a choice. Like, I'm really confused as to what the thought process there was. But either way, we move, I guess.
Yeah, it's now 4-5. The score is the gap is closing a little bit at the Entropy Gaming. Wow, I was about to say Entropy Gaming. It's Empire Gaming, same shortcut you could say. But yeah, managed to close the gap a little bit. It's now 4-5. It's still Aspire on the defense, where things have been going fairly well for them so far. But yeah, just going back to the basement. I believe basement was won every single time by Aspire. I mean, they only played it once so far, right? Yeah,
As of this point, it's
I'm
been
saying that correct, right?
successful for them. But I mean, this is not a grand amount to really go off of. It is a very well defensive favored site, especially considering. Oh, okay, Val got caught out
Wow.
by Scripps there. Scripps has made his way in through Strip very, very quickly as he's got himself all the way through there in the first 30 seconds. So he's either not droning or has been droned through by someone else.
And indeed, a very nice opening kill here from Entropy Gaming. Why do you keep saying Entropy Gaming? Empire Gaming, sorry. Empire Gaming was just making nice opening kills here, which certainly will benefit the remainder of their rounds as long as they can actually keep this momentum and keep their advantage going for the remainder.
Well, I don't know what Yana was aiming at there. It was like top corner of the roof, I think, potentially a default cam, but there isn't a default cam there. But the defenders on the bottom floor are just going to be getting pressure applied to them right now, as Habana's going to be opening up these hatches, and Ace is trying to get his way onto the kitchen hatch, but gets himself caught. The vertical pressure. Going to get caught out by that mirror on main stairs by the looks of things, as now she's rotated herself back to site, and they've got a man equalized on this, well, execute this last minute 30, the latter half of the round. They are just going to be seeing if they can filter these players as best as possible for the defenders to be able to quick and easily clean them up.
Yeah, Attackers is mostly setting up, flashbangs coming out, just trying to disrupt the defenders as much as they can to get in the right spot where they're needed. Mirror still in position, actually being able to take out Scripps. That's the Yana losing her life, bringing us to 3 versus 4 situation. Slash still creating loads of verticalities, to make it very difficult to play on site. And also the Hibana pellets coming out to take care of those mirror windows. The risky users getting ready for the drop here and benefit from all the chaos that's being created at the moment. Just 35 seconds remaining in a 3 versus 4. This will become a very bloody end towards the round very soon. With also here the Thorn getting damaged quite a bit. Very low in HP. One bullet will take care of her. And yeah, Attackers just getting ready to make their move.
Well, pressure being applied on both sides now. They've managed to find 2 kills for themselves, but Rixie finds 1 in return. The mirror goes down to follow, and now 1v2 situation. This player on main stair is going to be very, very weak. Gets cleaned up by the Wamai, who is full on HP. Going to be taking that swing very, very aggressively. Takes a little bit of damage in the meantime, but manages to find it for himself. That's going to be the round over in favor of Aspire once again. And now it brings us to match point.
Yeah, again, broadening the advantage they previously had and previously lost, back to 2-round advantage here for Aspire. And indeed, like you said, that's match point for them as well. They now have 2 rounds to win one of them to end this match in their favor. But at the same time, Empire Gaming has 2 rounds to win to deny that match point and bring us to yet potentially another overtime. Well, right now we're going to a bomb site that should technically favor Aspire here. It has been mostly defender success that we have seen here today, with just one exception. And Aspire just going for their potential final setup. The round that matters a lot to them. And yeah, just getting ready to potentially secure the win here.
Well, if they're able to close it off now, it might put us a little bit closer to our schedule.
Yeah, that would actually be very useful, yeah.
But either way, EG are obviously going to be looking to thwart that as they come into, well, potentially the final round of this game.
Yeah, indeed, but no, sorry.
Oh, we do have a bit of an aggressive defender lineup for the side of Aspire. They've got that Thorn on side alongside the Mute. Mute is an operator that can be played very aggressive, and Castle's an operator that's borderline worthless other than his gun after he's put his gadgets down. And his gun's not great.
No.
So, I mean, he can be played pretty aggressive as well. So, I think more than likely we're going to be seeing a bit of a very all or nothing, balls to the wall type swing crap from the side of Aspire, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, just mostly like those layer kind of defenses where they can just fall back layer by layer, but don't really have anything set up towards the eastern side of the map. At least no men presence there. So the members of Empire Gaming should have some proper time here to just enter the building, take control all the way towards construction from where they can start doing some real damage. And also with the sledge and play, they can easily take care of those castle barricades, which shouldn't be too much of a problem then. And yeah, but the attacks are already getting proper control here. They will soon be on the doorstep.
Did they use a thermal charge on a soft wall? On top red?
I think it was reinforced. Or did I not see that correctly?
Oh! The dipsy spot!
There we go. But this time they're ready for it, though. Oh, no, not really. I mean, they were ready for it, but unfortunately didn't manage to counter it well enough. It's Scripps getting the kill there on Carol, where we're now in the 5v4 in the favor of the members of Empire Gaming. But the attackers are also already getting quite close to the bomb site, so the defenders of Aspire will soon have their hands full as the attackers will start working their way, and nades are being thrown. C4s are going to be thrown, might just make their way outside, but unfortunately not connecting with the target. Would have been a beautiful kill, but Rough for now remains in the 5v4 situation with 50 seconds remaining.
Indeed, they're going to be potentially going for this hatch drop a bit aggressively here, as I mean, they've got a couple players sort of hanging around that area. They've also got a player deep construction right now. They might just jumped away into the closet, and Empire are just managing to find themselves kills here as Aspire firing back in return. They managed to get a down and also a kill for themselves. So this 2v4 is in fact a 2v3, but now it turns into a 1v3 as Casper's the last man standing left inside this shower cubicle as he does try and take the swings out, manages to find one. Is he able to find a second? He gets the injure, but isn't able to secure the kill or find the second. And, well, that 1v4 looked very, very doable for a second.
Yeah, and something else that's starting to look doable is the comeback, or at least the overtime, as Empire Gaming is just one round away from making it happen. If they win the upcoming rounds, we will see yet another overtime today. While if Aspire manages to win the rounds, then we will see them win with a 5-7 score. So this round is all or nothing for either team. I mean, it's a really important round for either team, and will definitely decide the fate of this match. So yet again, we're going to the same bomb site. Aspire going to attempt it one more time. Unfortunately, they didn't succeed, but still have the courage to try it one more time, and hopefully with the right kind of adjustments do better.
Well, I think Siege is a game that revolves around staircases, as I like to call it. It's got several different methods of following step-by-step processes. You've got round by round, you've got game by game, you've got half by half, that sort of thing. And I think round by round, obviously, they're going to be talking about their strategy, setting up certain executes and things like that. But I think the main thing at the moment to consider is EG are going to be desperately fighting for that next step, which is securing this round and getting points. Just in general, securing a point for themselves. Guaranteed. After that, they can start worrying about actually winning the game. But at the moment, this is the most important round.
Yeah, it's really about achieving or getting a chance to still get a win, or at least get some points here. I mean, what is it? Aspire is already sure of getting points, whether they win this round or not, because if they go to overtime, they will still at least get one of those points. But for now, they really just want to get the full 3 points. We can see the mirror already being ready for the hatch to be open, just waiting for any of the attackers to open up the hatch and get found off guard to get an easy kill.
He's going to get pre-fired through the hatch.
He almost did. He luckily didn't even get hit at all. Like, not a single bit of damage dealt, but that would have been the play of this match if Scripps actually did get the kill there. A beautiful way to punish the Mira, but unfortunately he didn't succeed. Nice attempt.
Scripps is looking around now, like, where's the drone? This player sat on Dipsy spot once again. They're just holding it. They know that like that spot has worked already, so they're just trying it over and over again because they know it's got to work again. We are seeing some Halloween charms, as you can see on the Wamai right now. Wamai is going to be carrying one of those, and so is Yana. We are just, as I speak about Wamai
Wow.
finds two, like very quick succession, finds the Ace and the Thermite. That's both your hard breaches off the board. And realistically, that's probably player of the match because he just secured all of your utility in one go.
Yeah, indeed. And now we find ourselves in a 3 versus 4 situation, approaching that final minute. Aspire in the lead, on a good track to actually win this match and end it here right now. And welcome back. After a relatively short break, we're finally back here with the final match for today. We're just a little bit behind the schedule about, what is it? We should have started. Oh, we should have started 15 minutes ago. I'm just realizing. Okay, so we have some time to make up, but still, we're very hyped for this final match of today, which is Team Windows Key versus. Let me quickly check. Evo 5, which are the teams of today. And yeah, I mean, what can we say? Windows Key, a bit of a combination of X Team Misclick as XP100s. So some very familiar names there. While on Evo 5, let me just take a quick look.
Basically a bunch of dorks.
I wouldn't call it that, but I'm just less familiar with them. So at least one thing, they can still impress us. They have a chance to impress us today to make a nice
all
first
gamers,
impression.
we're all dorks.
Yeah. But yes, since the game will start very soon, let's just quickly hop into those map bans so we actually get an idea on which map we're going to be playing. So at least we know that. And that is going to be Cafe Dostoevsky. I mean, luckily, I think these people have been watching the stream. Literally, the first bad map was Clubhouse.
Yes.
Thank you, Windows Key. Thank you. Not 3 times Clubhouse. That's not what we're looking forward to. So I'm actually very happy to see that one being banned. So yeah, Cafe Dostoevsky. It is. First time for the season.
Well, at least we got a map that isn't club for once. I mean, Cafe is one of those maps. Has a lot of potential to be very defender sided. Also has a lot of potential to be very defender sided. It really, really depends on the sides that both of these teams favor. And I think overall, they definitely have a lot of potential to do very well on either side. I think when it comes down to the defense, it has a much higher chance to be stronger. But I don't know, the attack, like some teams play it beautifully.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see Cafe Dostoevsky for the first time during this season. I mean, the maps that we've seen so far, just quickly thinking Consulates, Oregon, Clubhouse, that's it. And now it's going to be Cafe, the fourth map for the season. So at least we're getting a little bit of variation going slowly but steady. And I think just in a minute or so, we should start this game, the final game of today. I think we still have some visuals that we can actually show off before we go and hop into the game. I believe one of those is indeed the production team prediction, which OPL just likes to fuck with us and decides to just load it in a bit slower than it should. But in a few seconds of time, it should actually start appearing. Right, OPL? Right.
Well, I'm trying to fix some stuff. Anyway, I don't know, man.
I can just see our producer impatiently waiting and waving around with his cursor, just waiting for the visual to load. Like we have some fixes, but it's not
all
everything. But hey, there we go. Finally, yeah, we did already see it a little bit earlier. Windows Key voted by every single production member. I mean, that's also because we just know the names better than the other team. Maybe
my vote was a coin flip.
Okay, yours was a full coin flip. Me, just mostly because I know Windows Key, the players, and I don't really know the other team. But yeah, the game has started. We can just hop into the game and we can actually see what's going to happen here. Cafe Dostoevsky loading in right now, the beautiful snowy map. And it's going to be Windows Key versus Evo 5. Let's really see what Evo 5 is made of. Like loads of people have expectations of Windows Key. But what can we expect of Evo 5 here? We don't know.
Well, when it comes down to the bans on Cafe, more than likely we're going to see like Thatcher or Jackal, one of the two. We see on Monty, that's like the dumbest ban I've seen in quite a while. Realistically, Monty's only good at pushing prep on this map. He can't really do a lot else. The map's way too open. There's a lot of angles everywhere. Monty's not a strong operator to take off the board. Ying, very good. I like it. Mira also going off the board. Another one that is very good at denying on this map, like one that's very good at denying ground, maintaining things for the defenders, and more than likely we're going to see a Solace, because realistically, if you don't land the Solace on this map, you're a bit stupid. because Solace is just so powerful with this vertical pressure. It's so extremely good. We take out the Azami, either way, another one that is insanely good, especially for this piano room hold, especially for the bakery hold. They're like the two bands that are realistically most important. And I think the mirror being favored over Solace is a questionable idea, but the Azami going out is definitely a good one. When it comes down to the mirror being banned as a whole, I think more than likely it was an expectation, or maybe even to try and force the opposite team into taking out the Solace instead. But that didn't come into fruition. But when it comes down to the Monty is just relatively worthless in a lot of situations.
Yeah, and right now the match is of course starting. We are seeing that we have Windows Key in the defense and even 5 in the offense, where Windows Key is opting to go for the top floor first, which is I mean, very understandable. Café Dostoevsky is one of those maps where every bomb site is definitely playable, with mining and fireplace being the least favorite of the options, but still, again, it is playable with the top floor, and the top floor is just one of those most favored ones to pick from. Yeah, just a bit of setup being done. We'll see how things go. And it's now here, Evo 5, as the action phase is starting, approaching the building, going to look for the first way in. Echo Drone nicely scouting ahead. That's actually really beautifully done. We can see various players waiting at the windows, potentially getting ready for a spawn peek of run out or whatsoever. But it's a beautiful way to see how Echo is creatively using his drone to scout outside of the map. And there we go, the first kill happening. It's Peter with the kill on Sweden, and it's the Jackal, one of the big pains in the ass, or potentially big pains in the ass, for the defensive team, getting rid of.
Now, I don't want to be that guy, but I've said this like 4 times tonight. I really want to be that guy. Anyway, this is a super aggressive play from their team. They had like 4 people off site. I think they still might. They've got 3 on site now, but they had 4 people off site. Like, everybody roaming around trying to get a spawn peek off, and I mean, it can be good, but let's say 2 of you get reverse spawn peeked and 2 of you don't see anyone. You've lost 2 picks immediately, and you're just kind of in a questionable position. So if you come here for a spawn peek, make them few and far between, unless you're like playing off of the fact that they think they're going to be few and far between. And if you don't make them few and far between, just play them very safe, because as much as yes you did and you didn't lose any bodies, it's a little scary to watch so many spawn peaks go off all at the same time. Lima manages to find 2 for himself, and actually managing to find a 3rd now onto Nerd as he takes the swing, but Peter going to be coming around, manages to find that one for himself, and a beautiful one tap onto the man on the window, and that's going to be the round over.
Not gonna lie, that round was getting a bit close towards the end. We were in a 2 versus 2 situation with both attackers, I think, pretty low in HP though. But still, I mean, it could have really gone either way from the moment. We've seen triple kills, I believe. I cannot see the scoreboard right now. I believe
it's entirely overswinging.
Yes, it was. But it was getting closer though.
Yeah. I mean, it was a 5v2 at one point.
Even Peter with a quad kill, actually. He had 4 kills. Lima had 3.
So,
impressive first round.
A little wild that it was that close.
Yeah.
Especially considering, as I said, it was a 4v5 at one point. Or a 2v5 at one point, sorry. And getting it all the way down to a 2v5 and then taking swings and having one player mully you down to like a 2v2 is crazy. So I think a little bit more discipline on the side of Windows Key is in order, because I mean, they just got so confident that it kind of bit them in the back a little bit.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was just going to say, we are going to be seeing a little bit of aggression coming out of this Fenrir. He's going to be seeing if he can catch anyone out with that FNAT. that is going to be positioned in the middle there, and a player jumps through but isn't quite in its radius. And he just decides to fall off that angle and go rotate himself back over towards white. I really like that strat of throwing one outside and just seeing if he can peek off of the info. But as he doesn't find anything, he's going to be deactivating it and reactivating other ones to try and get himself in a better position. And opening up that angle over the top of the soft wall is a good way to start.
Yeah, indeed. The garage meal being opened up by Termite already, the first entry point being created. I mean, it will certainly help to have a bit of control over the hallway, where we will likely see some more traffic towards the end of the rounds. But mostly the attacks now just focusing on the top floor, just clearing top to bottom. I don't think we have any roamers on the top floor, but we do see some on the floor right below them, the first floor or second floor, depending on how you call it, depending where you're from. But it's Konski getting the open kill there on Lima, but then Vex have the kill there on Konski. Bring us to a 4 versus 4. Termite lost versus Smoke. 2 big losses for either team, I would say, because I guess the Termite still had one of his charges. But then the good thing is that Evo 5 does have that fuse with a Harbinger utility. And then as Fought gets a kill on Nubis. We're now finding ourselves in 4 versus 3. Make that the 4 versus 2 as Pizza finds Vexa. And that's 4 versus 2 in the favor of Windows Key.
Two of these players borderline looking at each other now as they're both waiting for the other player to take the swing, and as neither of them actually go for it, the Fenrir getting aggressive onto the right side of the balcony is going to be just not watching himself, as he could have gotten caught there for a second if the player decided to just take a quick look. Now, reactivates his Fenrir gadgets in different locations, and he's going to be trying to make his way across that minibar area, instead gets taken out. And now it's looking ever so much more winnable for these two remaining players.
Yeah, indeed, for two remaining players, it's still possible. They still have some time to work with. 30 seconds is what they're getting here. Nades and flashbangs can still be thrown to deal with some of the players playing below. Unfortunately, one might get finding those bits of utility, and then Peter finding the drop, finding a player. Sweden with a kill on Peter. It's a 2 versus 1, but Sweden is extremely low in his HP. Just a little bit of damage will already take him out, but he still managed to push through all the way to kitchen. But then the Fenrir gadget unfortunately disrupts his visibility. But before that, Pizza finds the kill, takes out Sweden, and secures yet another round there for the side of Windows Key. 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 on the side of Windows Key, and I think that round was much better played from the Frost. I think the discipline to just, okay, we know where he's coming from, we know he's dropping the hatch, let's sit on the wrong side of half wall, on a bit of an off angle, wait for the Fenrir gadget to go off, then take your swing. Sit there pre-aiming the window until you know that he's not coming from that direction. And that was perfect discipline from that player in particular. And I think that should be incorporated into future rounds for the rest of the players as well, because that is why the first round was so close.
Yeah, indeed. It was Windows Key just taking some risks, experimenting. You can really see how they're experimenting with this Fenrir utility outside of the map. And I mean, I guess like we were saying, we don't really know Evo 5 that well. When we take a look at the roster, I can imagine that the members here of Windows Key do know them a little bit better, that they're a bit more familiar with the players in the community. And maybe they just are more confident with this match, and that's why they're trying these kind of things. And so far, they're doing fine in the 2-0. And this could become a pretty confident match here for Windows Key, just like a lot of people are predicting as well. But then Pizza, wow, takes out Vex already, very early on with a little spawn peek, a nasty spawn peek. Takes out the Jekyll once more. Again, the Jekyll being the first opening pick, not being able to disrupt any of those roams, which could have been very useful for the team. But unfortunately, he can no longer do so as he has been taken care of.
Well, taken care of is not exactly the way either of these teams have been playing at all. They have sorted out the frostbite behind that cigar counter though, so that is going to be very, very good for them, knowing that is just in position in general. Fenrir has to fall off because of the man that is playing on the Heaven windows, but now he's going to be hovering in around pillar, manages to get the reverse angle onto Sweden, and that's going to be very good. As now they're just getting kills backwards and forwards. Well, not even backwards and forwards, they're just getting kills left, right, and center. The side of Windows Key just absolutely flooring everybody as they manage to get a completely flawless round.
Yeah, this is really one of the first matches where one team just seems to be so damn dominant. I mean, earlier we did see, like, what was it? E-Wave.
We had a 5-1.5 for F7.
Yes, but still, they didn't seem as dominating as we're seeing Windows Key do right here.
Like I'd argue that they're about equal because of that first round.
Yeah, the rounds just seem to be way closer there. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think they're different in the fact that Windows Key has gotten better and better as the rounds have gone onwards. But I think they're relatively similar in performance so far as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like understandably, timeout now coming out here from Evo 5. So things are clearly not going the way they were hoping. I mean, going 3 rounds in a row, losing those is not ideal. It's not the end of the world yet. There's still an opportunity, and that's indeed maybe why this tactical timeout might just be at a good timing here. Because if they still manage to fix things at this point, they can still easily work things around. I mean, we have seen it earlier as well with F7 and E-Wave, but yeah, better a bit earlier than too late. And I really hope that Evo 5 manages to analyze what's going wrong and finds a solution to it, because otherwise this match could be fairly quick.
Yeah, but after a flawless round, moving on into the rest of the game, Pete's are going to be 6-1. We've got a 5-1 player on Peter, and Peter relatively quiet last round actually, considering he got all 5 of his kills in the first 2. So it was kind of Peter's round to take over there.
Oh yeah.
But as we move into round number 4, we're going to have to see if they are able to keep it up and if Nerd is able to put himself on the board. Now, what do you think is going to happen? How do you see this going from an attacking standpoint coming into a top floor hold?
I mean, we have seen them attack it once before, and it didn't really go too well. They did get close, but it was also with the Windows Key just playing a fairly aggressive, with like a 2-2 situation. I don't know, like it just didn't go well for Evo 5 last time. Like I think they already lost people outside of the building, I believe. But then mostly around Red Stairs, Piano, Cigar Lounge, just lost too many lives early on. And if you just manage to stay alive longer, they might find some more success. Hopefully they find some more success. But then they do need to, clearly work on those improvements.
Yeah. Clearly, a lot of sort of team play issues going on, especially on the side of Evo right now. But I mean, as we've moved further and further into the games, the team play issues on the side of WK have managed to dwindle. The drone coming through has spotted out Konski here. Konski going to have to back out through that fireplace and make his way through onto the opposite side to see if he can keep himself safe. Does spot out the player over towards the bottom red stairs and does decide to just move himself back towards white and see if he can, well, not die. But
the attack is still looking for him, but he's long gone already.
Yeah, he's done a very good job of wasting time because getting that drone means they've got to recheck and make sure that you're not hiding in a ratty corner somewhere, which means Sledge has to move in behind the drone unless he's confident that you're not there. And if Sledge is moving in through behind the drone, then you've wasted like 20-ish seconds of them checking the first floor.
Yeah, one time. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, so you've done like more than enough without doing anything.
Yeah, the one time that Vex is not being openly killed and is not playing the Jackal would have been useful this time to just find that information a little bit earlier, because they only have 55 seconds remaining and everyone is still full HP and alive. So this round is going to be very, very bloody and very deadly. But Peter gets an opening kill, finds the Nomad, takes her out. She likely plays most of utility, but will no longer be too meaningful for the team in terms of gunfights. And 5 versus 4, that's how the round now continues. Sweden then losing his life as well. We do see I'm having a little bit of buffering. I don't know about you. Luckily, I can see
So
on
am
you.
I.
Yeah, I can luckily see on the producer side. I can still see things, but the flawless rounds in the end here for Windows Key secures yet another round for them. And yeah, that's just a 4-0 score. As casters, we're quickly going to try to resolve our issues here. Maybe a little refresh will already help things.
A
It
refresh
seems like
fixed
it.
me.
And then we're also, so we should soon be back. What? So yeah, it's now round 5 here, going for still the defense here for Team Windows Key. Things have been going really well for them, and they just don't seem to be stoppable at the moment. So yeah, it's really Evo 5. Even after the technical time, they didn't manage to get too much success on the previous round. It was a flawless round for Windows Key, even, and yeah, they just seem to be unstoppable at the moment. Evo 5 really needs to find a way to be more successful against this team. Otherwise, they might lose out on their first points in this first play day.
Well, this is looking to be a little bit of a whitewash right now. We have got that 4-0 on the borders now. They're going to be just making their way up onto the roof of the building to see if they can go for some sort of top-down clear, opening up this main garage over on the white side. And I mean, at the moment, we're just seeing the IQ and the Buck trying to get themselves in through this top floor, but they're kind of droning a little too late. They've already wasted about 45 seconds of the round without getting themselves onto the roof. And I mean, there's already aggression coming up from Peter. Peter manages to find that kill onto Anubis. Now, we're in a situation where you have a man disadvantage. You've managed to pull out the Jackal once again on Vexer. And, well, once again, Vexer not the opening kill, but also not really able to utilize the gadget as much as, well, you'd like it to, because all of these players are on site, and the one that isn't is, like, ready to die anyway. Obviously, he wants to try and keep himself alive, but he's across the other side, and he's got players hovering around near his location. We do have a lot of these attackers going to be moving in together on this train's fireplace side. They're going to be seeing if they can take a bit of an engagement over towards that double door, but isn't able to find anyone on the other side.
Yeah, even damage being dealt there, and the Buck in the end being injured on the floor. I'm not sure what position he is, but it might be a tight one. Also, the Nomad's being injured as well. The Buck likely to be finished, just being finished right now. But in the end, the attackers finally find and shut down Fault, who has been on the killing spree. Then Lima also really killed her on Pizza, and suddenly things are starting to look a little bit more possible here for the side of Evo. Yes, they're still down one man, and they only have 50 seconds to find those three and make it work for the team. But as Lima is just waiting here carefully, patiently, the defenders might just expose themselves. In the end, Nerd holds on his position a little bit better, waits here in VIP, a very strong position for him to be in, but needs to be careful with the attackers in his back. 30 seconds on the clock. It's a 3 versus 2 attacker. They're just gathering the last bits of information so they can go for their final execution, the final attack offensive for this round. But no, unfortunately, both players get found in a very short amount of time. And yet, Windows Key again finds another round for the board. 5-0, after which we'll now proceed to the 6th round. The last rounds before the roll stop happens, and yeah, this defense is just working out so well for Windows Key, whether it's even becoming a question whether it's about the defense or just the teams in general. But Windows Key doing absolutely great in this match with a 5-0 score.
I mean, 5-0 so far. I'm getting a little bit of deja vu, but potentially could be even greater as we move into the final round of this half. Not the final round of the game, but definitely the match point of match point. The penultimate match point, if you want to put it that way. And we are going to just be seeing if Evo are able to pull one back for themselves coming into this matchup against Windows Key before they swap over to the other half.
Yeah, indeed, the final round also a chance for Windows Key to get and achieve the match point for this match, but also the last chance for Evo 5 to at least secure one round here on the offense. I'm not even sure. I'm going to take a quick look on who actually got the chance to decide. The sides here was Windows Key starting the band, so they decided to start on defense here. So that's certainly paying off for them, where Evo 5 started to play on defense in the overtime. So it gives me a little bit of expectations from them once we see that switch happen. But getting at least one of those rounds will surely help them to at least have a bit of a chance, just like the match of E-Wave and Flawless 7.
I mean, yeah, managing to actually secure points in that matchup was E-Wave, even though they did come out losing. We are going to be looking at possibly a similar situation here if the side of Evo are able to turn themselves around. We are just seeing a little bit of aggression come out of these players. Peter manages to find one from far away inside a bar, or inside a pillar, sorry. The player on the window above isn't quite dealt with as quickly as I felt like he would have, or felt like he should have been. And now these players are just hovering around all over the place on these rappels. They find one in return, but they've lost two. And the man they've taken out is the player that's just tormenting them. They've still got Pizza on the board, though, who's also 9-2. Going to be seeing if he can try and bring himself further forward into this game, propel himself into those double digits. And also you've got Nerd, who's out for blood right now, looking for his first few kills of the game, getting himself up to more than just one.
And indeed, now we're find ourselves in 3 versus 3 with 1 minute and 15 seconds. Attackers are entering the building, going to look for a way to find some of those defenders. I mean, 3 versus 3 is one of the best rounds potentially for Evo 5, the best chances for them to still get one of those points. But they need to play careful. They need to maintain their advantage and find those remaining defenders. On the top floor, I'm not even sure. There are still on the top floor. Anubis finds one, gets damaged quite a bit, but there's also one playing inside of Cigar Lounge. Also, he has been spotted out, but it speeds up with the kill on one of them. Lima getting taken out by Nerd, and that's all coming out to Anubis. The Finka playing on top of Red, and her position, yeah, it's likely known at the side of Windows Key. She will likely be swarmed, or at least her multiple angles towards her position will be held. Sorry. And from here, she finds herself in a pretty difficult situation with only 30 seconds to do the job, which will be likely very difficult for her.
Yeah, forced to take the swing now as she tries to get herself through into the cigar area. Takes a bit of a hit from a Guma and hasn't found any kills this game. And the super shorty comes out. They are going to be just seeing if they can find it. They're going to be moving themselves down these red stairs, just saving KD.
Yeah.
Well, what there is to save.
Yeah.
And just seeing if they can talk it out amongst themselves.
Yeah, well, either way, that's the 6th round going to Windows Key as well. Pretty convincingly so far on this first half. Windows Key seems to be... This might just become the 7-0, but like I said, with the role swap, there is a bit of chance for Evo 5 to just do better on their favorite side, it seems, defense. And it might already be too late, but any points achieved on this moment, at this point, might still help them in some ways, and might just look a little bit better. But their fate might already be sealed.
Indeed. I mean, their fate already being sealed is definitely a high probability as we are coming into the final round of a 6-0. Well, no, not the final round of a 6-0 half. The first round after a 6-0 half. So, I mean, realistically, you if you're on the side of Evo, you're panicking because you know you can't lose this. If you lose this, the game's over. Done, dusted, game, set, match. And if you want to win, you've got to win 6 in a row. So after losing 6 in a row, you've got to make a pretty big comeback.
Yeah, indeed, this is the moment to score some points and still make it look a little bit better Having the comeback happen definitely possible. We have seen things like that happen before, but then yeah, it's really up to every round because every round is do or die. They need to win rounds. They cannot afford to lose a single. And with them not playing on defense, they can play a bit more passively. They can wait for Windows Key to just come at them. And I'm really curious to see how Windows Key will do on the offense as well. Well, talking about how they will do in the offense, things are starting out well. It's Peter getting the first kill there on Vexa, taking care of the Mozzie. Yes, he can still hack those drones and capture the drones, but he can no longer control them, which is already like already downside. But still, all the utility lost. The gun, the C4 is just even worse for him.
Yeah, they've managed to get themselves into top red now, and they're just seeing if they can get as many of these angles as possible. Sweden manages to find one for himself onto the Ash that makes her way into bar, and Anubis also equalizes the man count onto that other player of Sledge, who's just hovering around in piano. Now we're just seeing a bit of a stalemate here as both teams slow down, trying to isolate positions from each other. And, well, Anubis is found by those track stingers as Gridlock is going to be making her way further forward into piano. She is going to be on that piano door, holding the angle, potentially going to be looking for a bit of a crossfire here, but Dark ends up going down to the man on the other side, who drops in from the skylight, and, well, game, set, and match.
Yeah,
7-0.
7-0 after two very long matches to start the day with. We're now ending the day with a very quick match, almost being like ending on the scheduled time like we usually would. So yeah, Windows Key certainly working in their favor, but at the
you
same
could
time,
say it was a flawless 7.
Am
I too late for that joke? Am I too late?
Yes. Flawless 7
Damn.
had their first match earlier, of course, but didn't manage to get the flawless 7. But Windows Key did in a beautiful way. I mean, it's spectacular. It's a great thing to talk about. It's also an unfortunate thing because we would have loved to see a way closer match. But yeah, this also makes me very curious what we can actually expect from a team like Evo 5 in the future. Because I mean, it's not the easiest group in my opinion. Like the fact
none
that
of the groups are easy.
none of the groups are easy, but like if you already struggle against Windows Key, which is like a bit of a new form team, how are they going to do it against the other teams in the group?
I got a lot of slack for saying this, but I'm still gonna say it. Every single team, in here that even remotely shows competition, has a marginal skill difference between them and the top. Because it's entirely a learning curve, and once you reach a certain point on the learning curve, your skill, like the way you progress, starts to slow massively. And when it comes down to these teams, it's like all they need is a little boost. Like some teams might need an analyst, some teams might need someone to just look at their strats and go, change this, try this, that sort of thing. Like as long as there is that difference between a good team and a great team, these teams are very marginal in skill differences, and upsets can happen all the time. And I think as much as Evo did lose today 7-0, they shouldn't be too disheartened. They should instead look at what happened and why it went wrong.
Yeah, of course, you can have a bad day, but yeah, things happen, shit happens. Just look back at the VOD, I would say. You can potentially still learn things from there. And like you say, of course, like a coach and an analyst could certainly help. I believe we can actually take a quick look at the standings because, of course, now we have rounded up the first play day of Group B for the competition. So here you can see, of course, two teams up top with 3 points each. And then there's, of course, the round difference making the magic happen, where the Windows Key, of course, is on top of the group. Then there's, of course, the two teams in the middle. That was, of course, the overtime match between Flawless 7 and E-Wave, where they ended with an 8-7 score in the favor of Flawless 7, and then both Empire Gaming and Evo Esports on the bottom with 0 points. Well, that's basically it for today, Nash, right? We do have, of course, more matches coming up on next Friday for Group C, where I believe it will be Stucky and Kalstern doing the stream that day. I believe I'm just doing it from my mind right here, but they will be back that evening. And we have teams like Ground Zero, MDF, Molotov Gang, Tracker Clan, Underrated Esports, and Wii Sports. So some very, very interesting names right there, which I'm very interested to see how they will do. But for now, unless you have anything left to say, I think that's it for today.
Well, I'm going to be a rat and do my shout outs like I
There
always
we go.
do. Uh,
Go ahead.
So, if you want more of me, then please check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Nudge. I don't really do a lot else on other social media. That's pretty much the only place to find me. I'd like to give a quick shout out to my rejects group of friends. And I'd also like to give a new shout out to Epic Man and their group, because they've been very welcoming recently with helping me. Also, I've almost forgot this one. Big shout out to Eagle Empire. I'm your analyst now.
I was
Love
waiting.
me.
I was
Please.
waiting for it. Yes, I was waiting for it. Yeah, and of course, also to people we shouldn't forget as well. Of course, behind the scenes, like I started out as producer, but in the end, next took over. You might have noticed the quality highly improved, as he also can do those beautiful replays, which every producer in the end will be able to do. But he's the one who all set it up. So big shout out to him. But also our newest acquired member of the production team, which is Eagle. You might recognize him from way back of ESA, but he's now back here to help us out as a spectator for today, observer for today. But you will also see him as producer and as guesser at one point. So you shout out to him as well for the nice observer work. So for now, also thank you to all viewers, and I just want to say we hope to all see you back on Friday or back with another stream. So for now, I wish everyone a very good evening, and we'll see each other later. Bye bye.